right, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday night's live stream. We're here tonight with the Division 1 race of the F3 series at SimRace SA. Tonight coming from the Imola track. And it's me, Alan Paterson, in the broadcast booth, together with Nick Hodgson, who will be with us shortly.
Indeed. Evening, Alan. Thanks very much. As you say, I'll be in and joining very shortly, but very excited to see what these guys can do at Imola.
Excellent. Thanks, Nick. Okay, so glad to say we've got a full house of drivers here. I have officially counted 24 people arrive on the server, so we're in for a bumper evening of racing this evening. Whole lot of new names here, a whole lot of new liveries on the track. And yes, at Imola, the home of the San Marino Grand Prix, it's going to be a huge amount of fun tonight for sure.
Absolutely, and it is fantastic to see that so many guys have joined in, even though there are other sim races going on at the moment, like the Solidarity event. But yeah, fantastic to see these guys in the RSS V6 F3 car.
Definitely, and I think this has actually picked up a huge amount of momentum, and the guys have got very competitive now. So there's a lot of team movements happen, some strengthening in some teams. I'll go through that a little bit later. But okay, so we're into our official 15 minutes of quali. 12 minutes left, for that matter, and we're waiting for everyone to start publishing fast times. Qualifying times in practice, we were 133s, 132s, 134s, there or thereabouts. So I'm not too sure. The weather looks brilliant today. We'll see what everyone's doing tire wise, and what compounds who's running what, and what the pace is going to look like. And as well, we've got our usual YouTube channel, which is live and streaming, and we've got a bunch of visitors already there. I'm just going to... Nick, are you okay there still?
Yep, coming along. I can hear you, no problem.
Okay, good. So, welcome to Barry Mayer, first man there, shouting for Paterson Works, and Andrew Walbolt, our new team member who's racing tonight. Kieran Paterson, our other personal team alien, who's on board tonight watching on the YouTube channel. Zander Klingen's there. Charles Randall, welcome Charles, glad to see you here. Jacques Milan, Marius Pretorius, and Gert Sneyman. Hi guys.
Wow, that's a great turnout. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we got 24 people already on board, and we're 10 minutes still of qualifying left. So there's a lot of following tonight and a lot of interest in the guys that are driving tonight. So
awesome. Yeah, great stuff.
Excuse me. First official times coming up on the board, and we have a Mr. Lawrence Sterner with a 132.7 currently on pole, which is, he's out there. There we go. Here comes Jacques Buerta, our current champion, and he's
Indeed.
the quickest. Yep, a 132. Okay, so Sterner's a 132.733 and Jacques Buerta a 132.738.
Yeah, that's very close, eh? Goodness, not even a tenth in it. And this track, I was just looking at some of the chat from the various drivers, and a lot of them, Buerta there showing just how easy it is to get this car sideways, yes. And it's interesting that I think a lot of the guys are going to be taking a bit more of a cautious setup, certainly for the race. Because they're worried. They're really worried, particularly through, the various chicanes around Imola, which can catch you out exceptionally easy. Yeah. So as we come into this chicane to Variante Alta, this chicane, very easy for you to get that car turned around. So a little bit more complacent or compliant car, and we Yeah, and you might have a bit of a better race.
Yeah, trying to get the handling more optimum than the top speed.
Oh, got someone new at the top.
Oh yes, Mr. Lionel Clue, 132.704, now currently on pole.
I don't recognize that name, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, he is one of the new chaps. I think he literally registered or signed up within a week or so ago, and I think he might have picked up the details off the from the Solidarity coverage. I think I stand to be corrected, but great to see new people here and a whole lot of new drivers coming on board.
Absolutely, it's fantastic to see new people. We always. Oh, he's a Formula FSR driver.
Okay.
Lionel Clue. That's
There we go.
official communication there from SimRace South Africa. That's really fantastic to have him on board. Really looking forward to seeing what he can do tonight. First SimRace SA race. Wish him all the luck.
Yep.
See those times really starting to come down now, hey? Jacques Botha, 31.8.
31.8. Yep. Now they're going to start pushing.
Yeah, that's really raising the bar with 8 minutes to go.
Also on the YouTube channel, Lisa Paterson also here to sponsor our man Andy Walbolt, and that's from Paterson Works. Neil Berger there, and Dev ZA. He doesn't like to miss the GP races, so glad to have you all here.
Good
Zander
man,
shouting
Dev, that's
for
awesome.
Mr. Botha. Go Jacques Botha. I just, in prep for the race quickly, while we got a little bit of time here, was looking at some history. These chicanes that you talk about, obviously this track has a bad history. 1981 to 2006, its life period, and 94 was its worst year, where we had horrible accidents with Rubens Barrichello, and then the two deaths of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna, who crashed here. And it was due to those two deaths that they introduced these chicanes, Nick Tamburello and Variante Alto, I beg your pardon, Villeneuve, which were straight flat out sweeps. And they after the 94 Grand Prix, they introduced these chicanes to slow the cars down on purpose, because the speeds were getting too high as far as the safety council was concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. You've seen tracks do it over the years. Monza's another famous one for safety reasons. Whether those tracks have been, whether they've actually had incidents or just been worried about incidents happening, you can fully understand why it's happened. Some people, like to reminisce about the old days. But I see where they're coming from. But when you've got new cars that are going quicker and quicker all the time, the whole sport has to evolve.
That's it. And to be honest and fair, they have become safer. The technology has come a long way since the late 90s, and I'd say these cars are as safe as houses. We haven't seen a bad incident in a while now.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Black Widow Racing got a bunch of support in the YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
Fantastic to see people coming out to support their favorite drivers and teams.
So for Black Widow Racing tonight, we've got Hannes van Wyk on the track, and our current champion Jacques Botha, as well as Mike McGeer and Roel Postma, who are all the BWR drivers. So 4-man team there tonight.
Yeah, that's a good showing. That's a really good turnout for BWR.
Yeah. Flying Gypsies is the other big team at the moment. They've Andoni Antipas, Corné Breet, Craig Hunter, and Moritz Malerba, and Ryan de Azevedo. That's 5 drivers I count for that team tonight.
Yeah, they're doing very well. Do we know who Lionel Clue is racing for? Is he independent at the moment?
He's independent at the moment. I think it's him and Jan Spama. It's the other fast driver that are actually independent. So I'm sure some teams will snap them up who are looking for drivers if they want to join. But
I was going to say, those team principals best be watching in the channel. Certainly got some good prospects coming.
Definitely. So at the moment, what I can do, I can tell you everybody on the track except for Dirkie Swanepoel, who is currently in 10th position, everyone is on mediums. Only Dirkie is on a soft compound right now in quali.
Very interesting, that.
Yeah. And we have here our own Mr. Ryan Hill, who is on the track, Arcor Racing, and really glad to be back behind his rig and his wheel, and on the track once again in the F3 car.
Yeah, he said to us he wasn't expecting too much from his race tonight, but you know, Ryan does like to downplay how he's going to do. We'll see how he goes.
Yeah, definitely. Just on 3 minutes and 45 seconds left of quali, and I think at the top I don't see anyone.
Yeah, class of the field.
Yeah, Jacques Botha there, but Jan Spammers, this is a big surprise, I think, for a lot of people.
Definitely.
And Lionel Clue. De Azevedo in 4th, Corne Breet in 5th. And you can see 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th are all within a second, literally. So it's it's tight up there, Nick.
Very tight, yeah, definitely. And Ryan is about to set, I think, his personal best, almost a 10th quicker. Not going to quite challenge Clue, but he's certainly in the same.
Yep.
Within a 10th of him now. So certainly Ryan last time out did all right, but 4th, I think, certainly this looks like is going to be his best qualifying.
Yeah, he's up on his delta here, so let's see if he can carry this through.
I'm surprised Matthew Boy's all the way down in 8th. Generally we see Matthew sniffing around the top 3.
Yes.
Looking down the list, Dirkie Swanepoel is often also quite high up there. Same with Dirk Brand. So some surprises out there tonight.
Matthew Boy at 132.8. And pushing. He's up on his delta by almost 2/10.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't got a good lap in yet.
No, he might have been struggling. I've just had a Moritz Malherbe disconnect off the server. Hopefully he can get back in before quali's finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe having an internet issue. Mike McGear sitting down in 13th in the pit at the moment and on his way out now. Jacopo Malmegi down in 15th at 133.9. And then other new chap, Paterson Works Racing driver Andrew Walbolt, 134.0 down in 17th. But, you know, that's fine. Let him just bank it and he can do his drive in the race and see how he goes from there. This is his official second F3 race that he's racing in.
Oh, absolutely. Matthew Boy doing exceptionally well out the chicane, getting another couple of tenths there.
Yeah, he's up. I've got him here and we're watching his delta and he's 3.5, almost 4 tenths.
Yeah, twitchy through the last section, but he's managed to hold it together, looking like a 4/10 gain. That should see him jump up quite significantly. There it is, up to 6th.
Yep.
He's done well. I saw Ryan also improved his time very slightly, not by much, by about a couple of hundredths, but still.
Right,
Matthew got one last chance. Let's see if anyone else is. Ooh, Ryan. Ryan is absolutely flying right now.
Okay, which Ryan are we talking now?
De Azevedo.
Oh yes, I've got him.
He coming down to the last couple of corners.
Yep.
7 tenths.
He's flying.
That is proper. Bank this one, Ryan. Come on, you can do it.
Well, that's the last corner. So now it's a drag to the line, and he's
there
still
we go.
off
6.5.
6.5.
This is going to be good. This is going to be good.
Yo!
Boom! Pole position, Ryan.
Jeez, by what? 7,000, 6,000.
That is incredible.
Yeah, right in the dying moments. That was a great lap. So,
wow.
who's still out
Ryan.
there? We've got Cornet Briet, who is slightly down on his delta, but only just, and now slightly up. So we'll monitor him. We've also got Lawrence Sterner out there. No, his lap's finished. Dirkie Swanepoel, he's on the bubble. Mark McGeer and Dirk Brand, they're all kind of coming to an end. The only one who might improve is Cornet Briet. He's up here, almost 2/10 out of the last
Ryan
corner.
Hill. Ryan Hill as well.
I'll catch Ryan Hill
Also-
shortly. Yep,
Yeah, he's improving.
Cornet Briet done, and he'll improve.
Yeah.
He goes to 5th.
Oh, well done, Cornet. That's excellent. Nice last gasp. Dirkie Swanepoel also setting his personal best right at the end. Not quite enough to take away from Marius Skuman,
Yeah.
but certainly setting his best lap. But I gotta say, Ryan, what an introduction into SimRace SA. Well flipping done. That is epic stuff. That really is epic.
Right, Nick, we're going to take a quick ad break, and we'll be back shortly. That was a very short wait, so we're already going. Just got to get the pace cars off the track, and here they come down to the start.
Ryan still just hangs on all but loses out to Jacques Botha. Jacques manages to get his first back into first place.
There's drama at
Of course,
the back.
we saw Ryan snatch pole from Jacques. Let's see what kind of race pace he has. Some squabbling behind as well. Sterner and Briet, that looks like.
Yes. Okay, so we've had, it looks like Antipas has had a collision at the back. Van Wyk and Malherbe have also had a coming together.
Top looks like Sterner's just got through on Briet as well.
Okay.
So it's all kicking off right now. Postma past Marmegi. As you say, Antipas past Hunter. Hunter's now past Antipas. But now the top two starting to pull away.
Lionel Clue's gone straight back into the pits, and that he
Oh
was,
dear, I wonder if he didn't load some race fuel or something like that.
he might have missed something.
That's unfortunate.
So he's gone missing. But everyone's now running. Spammers and Briet, 4th and 5th place. These guys are having a good race here, as we can see on the screen. That was close.
It was close, but I tell you what, Botha and De Azevedo having an absolute ding-dong battle at the front, which is great to see. You wouldn't even believe that Ryan's never been quite that far at the sharp end of the field. Jan Spammers looks like he's had a problem.
Yeah.
Lost out 2 positions. With
Matthew
Boy
Boyd's right in the
absolutely
thick of
all
it
over
here.
them. Yeah, look at that. 3 of them really trying to battle that. Those front wings
Wow.
are not going to stay in that sort of condition
No.
with this tight racing.
Okay. Through Variante Villeneuve, through the one chicane. They come through nice and cleanly. Looks like everyone started. Oh, wait, there's a dice at the back here. I think that's Dirk Brand looking for a move. He's fallen back in behind. So far, so good.
Yeah,
Two
quite
still
a train
in the
of
pit.
cars. Quite a train of cars we got going on.
Agreed.
Yeah, I imagine if he's gone back to pits. Oh, almost a dive bomb there by Dirk Brand. But if Clue's in the pits, probably what's going to happen is his controls will be locked for about a minute and a half. So
yes, good point. Well done, Nick.
yeah, he'll be stuck there for a while, unfortunately. Hopefully he rejoins, though. Don't want to see him give up just yet. Because you never know what will happen in
You never know.
a GP race.
We've got a long time here. It's 42 minutes.
Azevedo all over the back of Buerta now.
Yep.
Only 3/10 in it.
He's in the
Coming
draft down
down
the main
inverter.
straight.
Yeah. If you can just hang on. Ooh. Look how close. That was down to 2/10.
Yeah. He's definitely. The wings are open. DRS zone.
Yep.
They're going. On the YouTube channel, Jacques Milan, Peter Geldenhuys, Go Durkee, and Barry Mayer. Everyone's there and everyone's supporting their favourite drivers.
Absolutely. And as you see, Ryan has set the fastest lap of the race now. And that's unfortunate. Lionel Clues left the server, but hopefully he will be back for another race.
Yes.
This is, his first race. We'll see how he comes back stronger.
Jacques Buerta ran wide there. That's allowed Ryan de Azevedo to get right up behind him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
This is
definitely
fantastic.
pressurising him, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. Are they both on medium tyres? What is the
So
tyre
we've
situation?
got everyone on mediums, and I mean everyone.
Okay, so it looks like it's a clear tyre choice around Imola. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there for Ryan. That's allowed Jacques to gap him a little bit and slowly falling back into the clutches of Lawrence Stern. Lawrence Stern has now found some pace, it seems.
He has, and he's now on the back of Ryan de Azevedo.
Yeah, let's see what Ryan can do in terms of some defense now. But I wonder if it's because Corne Breert has fallen off the back of Lawrence Sterner. So Lawrence is now concentrating on attacking more than defending.
Just looking down the field here, Malmegi's just had an incident, and he's now gone into the pit, actually.
Must have picked up some damage and needs to take an early pit stop. I expect to see him 2-stop then for this race.
Probably. We've got Ryan Hill moving up from the back of the grid. He's currently in 17th now.
He's done well. Done very well. Jan Spammers is very close to the back of Corne Breert now. And Dirkie Brand and who's that? Marius Skuman having an absolute ding-dong battle at the moment as well. Tell you what, Imola's certainly bringing out the best of these drivers at the moment. The field is not spread by too much. Oh, that's unfortunate. Brand running very wide, managing to keep the car pointing in the right direction, but he's going to come into pressure from Mike McGear now.
That's true. Mike McGear and Dirk Branton just ahead of him. We've got, is that Marius Skuman? Yes. On the back of Dirkie Swanepoel. Here to lift as they came through that. What is it? Piratella, yeah.
Zander Klingen saying my team's reporting that the server is stuttering. From our side as commentators, it looks fine, but we should say that we're using our backup server tonight, unfortunately. So maybe that could be causing some of the issues. And that's Corne Breert who's fallen all the way back. Well picked up there, Alan. That's unfortunate. You see how many places he's fallen back. One mistake.
Yeah. I mean, 4 or 5 cars have just piled right past him. That was coming out of that chicane, out of the Variante Alta, and he turned it round, and that was that. 5 cars went past. Could be 6. Oh, he's in the pits.
He must have hit the wall or something. There must be some damage there on Corne Breert's car. That's really going to play havoc with his race.
He just did the quickest lap, yeah. So these 3 are kind of spreading themselves out, but again, one wide move or one wrong corner here, and
it punishes you.
It is. These guys will be on you quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw obviously Corne Breert falling all the way down. He's now down into 15th place, obviously because he's in the pits at this stage.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he now runs long for the rest of the 38 minutes of this race, or does he try and do a 2-stopper? That's going to be the interesting thing. I see Barry Mayer in the YouTube comments saying that on the server stuttering, it's the new BOP system for Zander, slowing Team Black Widow Racing down. That's a great one, Barry.
Very good. That is funny. I like that.
Although, maybe it's working. Ryan is all over the back of Jacques Buerta now. Goodness. 3/10 and between Postma and McGear. That's just battles happening everywhere tonight.
I need to just move around a little bit so that we cover the whole field. It was some comments made on the previous coverage, so we'll just keep an eye out on all these times tonight.
Our
133.5 race pace, 133.3, 134s. So those who are in a race are they're not running their ultimate lap times, and those who are
got Black Widow on Black Widow here, Postma on what's that, McGear, it looks like. Neither giving any space, but looks like Postma got through. Obviously teammates don't want to clash.
No, you don't want that happening.
Definitely not.
So roll out in the clear. Mark McGear. Oh yes, okay. Dirk Brand locking up a little bit there. Back to the front, we'll go and look at Lawrence Sterner. And Jan Spamas in 4th place. He's not far behind these guys, 1.7 seconds. So
yeah, after a bit of a chaotic start where Spammers was obviously in that train of what was it, about 6 or 7 cars, he's now carved himself a little bit of fresh air, which, you know, helps the driver settle down, get into a good rhythm. So I really doubt he'll be complaining about that one.
Yeah. Turkey had an issue. He's dropped 2 positions here, Turkey Swanepoel.
Yeah. Really running quite hard over that chicane.
Mike McGear's right up the back of him now and looking to try and get past as well. Currently down in 13th place, Andrew Walbolt, and he's going past, actually, Van Wyk. That Hannes kind of letting go by the looks of things, but he's on his way and up into 12th place. Back up at the front. Ryan's half a second off the pace here behind Jacques Buerta and seriously keeping him honest. I've got to say, I'm convinced Jacques Buerta is feeling the pressure because we're seeing him run a little wide here and there, and he's struggling to absorb the pressure from Ryan de Azevedo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, of course, we know Jacques is a bit of a GP specialist, loves the GP cars. And look at this.
Yeah.
Ryan is, as you say, all over the back of him.
He makes up a lot of time through that through Aqua Minerale as they come up here to Barriente Alta. So it looks, Ryan's got a much quicker line through there, or possibly Jacques' car is a little bit looser, and you see under braking how he closes in there.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, there could be what you said earlier, Nick, about the car setups between speed and handling. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the next 34 minutes. Of course, both cars are allowed to use the DRS. There's no restriction as to, you know, the car behind can use DRS within a second or any of that stuff.
True. You're gonna just
DRS is there for the brave. You can use it wherever you would like, but obviously you've got to keep the car going.
Kat Snowman asking for some onboard shots. This is one of the preferred shots that we've been assigned to use, and this is Ryan chasing the back of Jacques Buerta. So we'll watch as he goes down into through Perrotella and then down to Aqua Minerale, where he makes up a lot of time on Jacques, and we'll see what it looks like from Ryan's point of view.
Running quite wide there. Once you go get all 4 wheels off the track, it gets very slippery. So
yeah. See, there's a big runoff section there, and I think Ryan maybe has it a little bit more set up on his car than Jacques Buerta does, because he seems to be able to deal with those little bumps much better.
I agree with you, and the one asterisk I'd add to that is what happens when Ryan's tires start to wear out a bit. Often when the tires are nice, new and fresh, you can run. I found that in Monza last week in the GT series, where through the Lesmos, I could really abuse the green AstroTurf on the outside when the tires are fresh. But as soon as they even kind of got to medium level wear, they were an absolute death trap, and I wonder if the same is going to happen tonight.
Interesting. We'll have to keep
And
an eye
if
out.
Ryan, absolutely, and if Ryan has even tested that.
Look there, he made up a lot of time there. He's right up underneath the wing again. Further back down on, oh dear, Corne Briet's on the YouTube channel. He had a crash, went to pit, tried to go long but didn't do repairs, crashed again and went to fix and didn't expect Matt to be so close. So try to get out of the way. He's just had a crashing day.
Yeah,
Bad luck
that's
there,
unfortunate. That's unfortunate, Corne. We really like to watch you race, but unfortunately sometimes it's just one of those things.
Yep.
Ryan just looks so much faster through there.
He does.
Really does. You're absolutely right, Alan.
Makes up a lot of time.
Ooh, let's have a look at Postma. He is all over the back of Dirk Brand. Trying to force the issue.
Oh yes, there's pressure here.
Black Widow racing again.
See how Dirk Brand puts up with the pressure here.
I've got to say, once again, the GP series really is delivering that some of the best racing is towards the top of the field and some of the closest racing. Oh, that's a lockup.
Big lockup.
That's a lockup from Dirk, and he's all over the shop right now.
He's watching forward and his mirrors.
Yeah, unfortunately, Postma did not get the best run out of the last corner. So it's closed up, but not enough to make a move.
Yeah, he's not in the draft now. I see Craig Hunter just went past Andy Walbolt down at the bottom end of the grid. So Andy's gone backwards a few positions. I think he maybe had a little off.
Yeah, it looks like Andy's struggling a bit more at Imola versus the previous race where we saw him do quite well.
Yeah.
In fact, I seem to remember he was playing towards the top 10 last time.
Yeah, he was. Look, we'll see. We've got 30 minutes.
We've just had Jan Spammers get past Lawrence Stern, and looking at the gap between them, there must have been an incident. So I think Sterner has made a mistake.
Yeah,
that's what that tells me.
Picture there. So.
But Postma is once again all over the back of Dirk Brand. A 10th between them, looks to make a move around the outside. That's unlikely to happen into that chicane. Oh, and he outbrakes himself as well. Now coming under pressure from Dirkie Swanepoel.
Yeah. Oh, it's all going on here.
Absolutely all kicking off. 4 cars now. Lots of Black Widow racing, of course.
Yeah. McGee and
McGee's now. Yeah. You can hear those tires screeching, but they both seem to have got through.
Jeepers. Yeah, except now who ran? Yeah, that's Swanepoel at the back. He ran late. He almost ran into the back of Mike McGee, but he managed to miss him. So that was a close miss.
Well avoided.
Well avoided.
And that has allowed them to.
Andy Walbolt.
I see Corne Briet's back in. Well done, Corne.
Yes.
Well done.
That was him coming out the pits, Corne Briet. So
yes. See, this is the power of YouTube. The commenters saying, Corne, get back in. They want to see him in the race. That's fantastic.
Definitely.
That's
well done.
What we like to see. Come on, chaps. Stick it out. You never know. Go out there, set the fastest lap. Show what you can do.
Back up to the lead. Ryan, 1.2 seconds off the back of Jacques Boertu, who's just locked up. Going through Villeneuve again. So it's not all smooth, plain sailing, but he has got a bit of air between himself now and Ryan.
Yeah, definitely getting some cheers from the YouTube chat for Corne rejoining, so that's fantastic. And saying Dirk defending nicely. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I tell you what, we've got Mike McGee now all over the back of Postma.
I saw that.
I think this is teammates once again. Yes, it is teammates.
Yep, a bit of a lockup by Postma. And,
yeah. I've got to say, I do like the signatures on the side of those cars. That's quite a good touch on that livery. Whoever designed it.
the pits there? That's
Cornet Breed, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe he forgot to load a setup or something like that.
Well, you should use the evening as an open practice
Test session.
Yeah, test session.
Definitely.
Okay, we're all a bit.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That looked like Postma.
Yeah.
You see, you just touch that grass a little bit too much, and it's gonna spit you off.
You did. So
It's really unfortunate for Postma. Definitely going to have some damage to that car.
Yeah, that nose took a bad smack on the barriers.
Absolutely. It's unfortunate we don't really get to see it in the visuals, but I can tell you right now that that car's not going to be happy, and you really need your front wing around Imola. So I wouldn't be surprised. Although, having said that, all over the back of Dirkie Swanepoel now.
Yes, and all right, listen, to be honest, it's Ryan, it's the backup service. I'm not too sure if the proper collision and damage settings were set because of the rush to get the server up and going. So, but he seems to be going okay. So let's hope it's not too bad, the damage.
Oh, Barry Mayer giving us crucial information here. Lionel Clue said he had a problem with his clutch. For some reason stuck at 50%, so when the revs climb, the car loses power and jumps to the rev limiter. That's a real shame. I hope you get it sorted out, Lionel. We would love to have you back.
Thanks for the feedback there, Barry. Great stuff. He's obviously driving with a shifter then.
Yeah, quite odd that. And then quite impressive the times that he's doing.
Exactly. Zander saying it's Roel Postma, who is the livery designer for the team with the signatures.
As I say, that's certainly a detail I can I quite like. I've got to say, Ryan has fallen back from Jacques now.
Yeah.
I wonder if the tyres, you can see he's lost a second on his own personal best this lap alone. Yes. So maybe some mistakes coming in for Ryan. Or with the tyres going off, he's not quite dialed in.
Yeah, but I can't see the mediums going off. Mind you, it's 24 minutes to go, so we're almost at mid-distance and ready for pit stops, actually.
Absolutely, the race has been so fast and frantic.
Okay. 2 laps to go, and then we should start seeing some pit stops, yeah?
Indeed. Let's say Matthew Boy's taking some chunks of time out of Lawrence Stern at the moment, about half a second quicker than Lawrence Sterner that lap. Oh, and Mike McGear setting a very quick time, 33.8. And Dirkie Swanepoel as well, 33.7. So those guys definitely quicker than Dirk Brand at the moment, although he does have a bit of a lead on them.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a gap there. There we go. So Roel Postma is in the pits early.
Yeah, well, we did see him hit the wall, so I'm not surprised.
Yes. Okay, good point.
If it's halfway through the race anyway, I'm sure he can repair that car and keep his strategy pretty much spot on. Peter Geldenhuys apologizing to Dirkie. He's not here to support him tonight, but Dirkie's certainly doing his best. See Bruce Merriweather saying the Paterson Works car is looking good as always.
Awesome, thank you, Bruce.
Oh, and Clue's back. Barry has spotted us. Barry, our spotter, has spotted Clue back 7 laps down, but it doesn't matter. We don't care. You're back in the race, my friend. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Here he is. Ooh. See, that is commentator's curse. As I picked him on the camera, he went and almost spun it.
Jacques Buerter and Maurice Schumann are both in the pits.
Yes, they are.
So is Ryan Hill. So Buerter's fallen down to 5th place as it stands. Let's see where he comes out. He's just come out the pits now. He's just exited.
He's behind Dirk Brand and
yes,
Mike McGear. So he's net 7th, I think.
Hang on. I think he's just ahead of Dirk Brand, actually. There's a second between them. He just squeaked out in front. And I think he's got a bit of clear air to Matthew Boy.
So 5th place, here we go.
Yeah, so that's actually not bad for Jacques Buerter, because with such a gap to Matthew Boy, he can really start to put the hammer down and not need to worry too much about traffic. That's the theory, anyway.
It is the theory. Well, look, he's come out in amongst some traffic, but let's see how it goes. We're going to see if Ryan comes in now. He's on the back end in the third sector. 2 more corners to go. He's basically got Ravazza to get through. A bit of a lockup. So also, as you say, the tyres are going off, and he might be coming in now.
I would be coming in now if I was him.
And he didn't.
Just to prove us wrong.
Just to prove us wrong.
I tell you, these drivers never listen to us. It's like they're not paying attention. A 33.0, though, that's not too shabby, but I mean, Jan Spammer's a 10th.5 quicker at a 33.8.
32.8.
32.8, sorry, I apologize.
Sterner in.
And Boy.
And Matthew Boy. So, yep.
Who we haven't seen too much of. What does Buerter do?
Dirk Brandt also in.
44.5. Okay, so that was his out lap. Let's see what he does as this.
Right, he's now got clear air because that was his traffic ahead of him, and they've all
Correct.
just pitted. So he's out in clear air, net third. So if Ryan's going to try and do an underpass, he needs to come in pretty soon because Jacques in clear air and going like the wind.
Oh, he's 7/10ths off his best already. That's surprising. I thought he'd be a bit quicker. Whereas Azevedo is going the quickest he's ever gone. He's half a second quicker.
Oh, sorry, someone spun there. I was just watching this traffic with Lawrence Sterner.
It's all right.
Azevedo's up on his delta by, as you say, half a second. So he's pushing hard now. Let's see.
And meanwhile, Buerter's lost even more time.
And he still doesn't come in.
Well, I'm not surprised if you're doing your fastest laps. So what does this make it? A 32.4. And let's see what Buerter ends at. And I mean, Spammer's a 33.0, so he took time out of Spammer's as well, who also hasn't pitted. Let's not forget.
He's down on his delta here by almost a second.
Yeah. Struggling on the new tyres. That's surprising.
Yes.
I really would have thought he'd be much, much more confident now. So what does he do?
33.3.
33.3, so that's 9/10ths slower.
Yeah. Rob Walker's in the pit from 5th place, and Moritz Malherbe.
Yeah, most people have done their stops now. Of course, our top 2 haven't.
And we've got Lawrence Stern and Matthew Boy very close here.
Yeah. Now you see it.
Yeah.
Azevedo's all over the place now. He's 7/10ths down. Well, 7/10ths off his best.
And his teammates ahead of him. So this is going to introduce some essential traffic. He's got to make a call now.
Yeah, Stanley Fenter wondering if Buerter's pace is because of the heavy fuel load. I mean, that certainly plays its part, but you've got to remember that fresh tyres are so much quicker on a GP car that it actually often balances itself out. You know, the weight versus the tyres, and at some point they kind of have a sweet spot during the race. But generally, I would expect a pace jump after a pit stop for one of these GP cars. Buerter now much quicker, bang on his delta. So it looked like he needed 1 lap just to get his bearings. And I mean, Azevedo is now 1.8 seconds slower.
Yeah, he's down.
And
And I don't see his teammate ahead of him, so I think there was an overtake maneuver, but it didn't go so smoothly. So he's definitely net lost on this lap.
Definitely. I'm not sure, at 2 seconds now, so it's... Boy and Stern having an absolute battle right now. Going at it.
Ooh.
Fantastic to see, look at that. Either one giving an inch. Boy's going to lose out going in there, though. Backs off sensibly. It gets a much better exit, though. On Sterner. Looks for the cut back.
Oh, he's right on his tail.
Yeah, he'll certainly get some pull up the hill.
There we go. Ryan's in the
No.
pits.
Oh, he's in the pits.
Yeah.
Ryan's in the pits. Thank you.
And Spammers. So both of them are in. We'll come back to this. Let's see where Jacques peels out. He's coming through Rabatza now and onto the main straight. So
It's gonna be close. Gonna be close. I'll watch. Ryan's heading down the pits now. Ryan's on the move.
on the start-finish line.
I think Boerter's gonna get him though.
Yeah.
I think he
cruising
just
fast.
lost too much. Yeah.
Okay, back into the front. It's all the status quo back as it was. If anything, that gap looks a little bit larger, Nick.
I think it is. I think it is. Those couple of laps where Ryan just lost, it was like 1.5 and 2 seconds off his delta.
Yeah.
That really killed his chances. I mean, it's 3.5 seconds. They would have come out neck and neck had he pitted 3 laps ago.
Back to
2
this
laps ago,
dice.
even.
This is the closest at the moment. Matthew Boyd chasing hard at Lawrence Turner ahead.
Oh yeah, you can really see these guys pushing hard. Matthew seeming to attack the curbs a bit more than Lawrence, who makes a mistake. You see that exit,
Yes.
the exit there. You've got to stay away.
Yeah, that's a big step down on that curb, and that's what just flicked the car a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's how we saw, who was it, Postma hit the wall because of it.
Yes.
Also there, I'm surprised Sterner went all the way out wide. From my recollection, that's so slippery. See, Matthew Boyd not using the Astro at all
No,
there.
very clean. He's on the track most of it.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Very seldom does he run wide.
And that's, you see, nice and smooth through that chicane. Matthew's clearly, to me, driving like someone who doesn't, who's just trying to not make mistakes. I mean, that sounds awful, but it's a really good tactic. Play it a bit safe. You'll lose a couple of tenths.
Which will be consistent in your lap times.
Absolutely, and you'll get to the end with no mistakes.
And possibly add pressure like he is here to the back of Lawrence Turner.
Exactly.
Well, we've got Durkee Swanepoel in the pit. So these guys have just jumped a position while Durkee was pitting there.
I mean, I know we all like to think with the Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen's, etc. of the world, but the fact is most drivers do suffer from pressure. So just applying that can often really grant you a lot of opportunities.
100%. I'm one to admit that. I've openly admitted I seriously struggle with the pressure when I'm under attacked by somebody, and I end up making mistakes. I'm not going to say I'm the best thing out there, I'm certainly not, but even in the sim racing game I do struggle with the pressure. So if you can manage that emotion better, you'll be a better sim driver in the long run.
Yeah, and it's certainly something you can learn as a driver, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying I'm brilliant at it either, but certainly when I started, I was horrendous. My racecraft was nowhere. I couldn't follow, I couldn't chase, I couldn't do anything really.
Yes.
But the more you experience it, and that's the odd thing, practicing for a race, you're mostly on your own, doing laps at your own leisure. But as soon as as soon as there's other people around you, that's something that you can't really replicate.
Yeah.
You certainly can't replicate the pressure. I mean, even if you organize with your teammates or something, everybody knows it's not really worth or not for anything except maybe a little bit of bragging rights.
True.
But now the pressure's on. Now this is for real.
So Nick, what's your net overall experience as far as sim racing goes? How long have you been doing this now?
That's a great question. I seem to remember I started in 2016 with one of the guys that I worked with. who persuaded me. I mean, I've always enjoyed racing games.
Yes.
Always loved racing, the usual spiel. And we entered together and we had an absolute blast for a couple of years. And then he moved to America and I did things like buy a house and stuff like that. And so I was life got in the way basically. And I was a bit, because my teammate had abandoned me.
Yeah.
Old Chase Gunter, for those who are real old sim race SA stalwarts. I just felt it wasn't quite as fun. But then I started to get back into it and found others, and the community in general is such a supportive one and so much fun, and people just have a great time. That it was so easy to get back in. And then Matthew Boy contacted me and said, hey, did I want to join the Point Blank sim racing team? And, I knew Hat and those sort of guys, and I just thought, yeah, why not? And then, so after a couple of years, was it a year and a half or so break, then I've been back in it.
Okay, so a 5-year basic span from beginning to current.
Yeah, correct. And nowadays, I think the Sim Race SA is definitely better advertised, well known. There's a big enough community that it sort of gets out there. But actually, the way myself and Chase even found Sim Race SA is they ran a couple of club races just for fun, nothing serious. And at the time, both of us were messing around in Assetto Corsa and loving the GT86 because it was a car that both of us actually knew in real life. So we were just doing laps around Magione, loving that track in the 86. And SimRace SA happened to have a server, and we thought, oh, this looks like it's in South Africa. Let's go and find out what it's all about. And that's how we got involved.
Cool, man.
What's happened to our third place man? He suddenly disappeared. Who was
I've
third?
just seen that now. It was I don't know who it was.
Was that? I think that was
we've lost somebody. We
have lost somebody. I can work it out. I feel like we should definitely know it. Swanepoel? No, Dirkie Swanepoel's there.
He's there. I can't say who it is.
That's odd. I can't work it out.
Moritz has suffered a disconnect. It was Jan Spammers.
Spammers. Why does he not appear anywhere? That's odd. He should have still appeared.
He's on a DNF and it says he's in the pits, but he's not there. So he's disconnected off the server.
Oh, that's a real shame. He was on for such a good result. Probably, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think third place Spammers. Yeah, everyone in the comments knows who it was. Sorry, guys.
Thanks, guys.
We old Alan had me here reminiscing, so that's and now we've missed it. That's a real shame. He was doing so well, up in third, looking for a great podium position. Love to know what went on there. I wonder if it was an internet issue.
Yeah, not too sure. We can see both of them. The other one I know is Moritz. He had a DQ.
I've been watching the delta between Ryan and Jacques, and it's been interesting because Ryan closed up for a while by almost a second, and he's now fallen back. It's a bit strange, and right now he's actually currently, I know it's the beginning of the lap, but he's doing his fastest lap of the race.
Yeah. It's kind of yo-yoing a little bit. I'm not too sure what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder, these two drivers not perfect. I mean, we've seen Jacques Boerter so dominant at some of the tracks over the past season or so, and barely put a wheel wrong. But when we saw Ryan pressuring him earlier in the race, and there was definite cracks seemed to appear here. I don't know why, but it was.
Ryan Hill down in 13th place, going all on his own, but going nonetheless.
Yeah, I remember Ryan started at the back of the grid, eh?
Yeah.
So he's worked his way from 20th all the way up to 13th.
14th place, Iacopo Marmegi. And just behind him, Andrew Walbolt. Andoni Antipas just behind him. So everyone's still circulating, except for those 2 disconnects, unfortunately.
So Dev ZA reckons that ACC multiplayer races should help with racecraft practice. And, I mean, getting back to that whole debate, yes, it will, but it still, to my mind, can't simulate a championship race. Just jumping into a multiplayer server with a bunch of random people, typically you're just seeing as how well you can do. Sure, you might be practicing for a race, trying to work on your racecraft, but the adrenaline, for me, the adrenaline isn't going, the pressure's not on. It's it's the same thing as going and hot lapping in practice for a race, and then coming into qualifying. As soon as that light goes green for qualifying, and you got 15 minutes or whatever the qualifying time is for that particular series, it's a whole other ball game. It really is, or to my mind, it is. Those butterflies start going, the adrenaline starts pumping, and typically that's where your world-class sportsmen really
excel. Yep.
Really excel, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how many people here watch the new Top Gear with I've gone blank, the cricketer, Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah, Fred Flintoff.
I mean, I listened to the podcast that he did with a couple of other Brits, and he said multiple times that if he's got that adrenaline going, he just ups his game.
Yeah.
And it really, it's what he kind of lives for and so on. It's what a lot of the top guys really, that's how they pull out that extra tenth over their competition when it really matters.
I can gladly say Jan Spammers is back online, although he's a lap down, but he is back. But he's back in 15. So.
Oh, that is close. That's a touch. That was a touch.
Was
Luckily.
A little. And turn it around quickly and not get stuck. Good man.
Yeah.
Okay, he's on his way. Oh, another overtake.
But I think he might.
Oh, yeah.
Come right back on into some traffic. Now, is that Matthew Boy or is that Marmeggy who's a few car lengths behind? It's Matthew Boy, so
Boy. Yep.
Turner's opened the door for Boy a little bit here. Boy's obviously got to work his way through the traffic. Barry Mira says Clues managed to claw back 2 laps, and I think that's 2 laps on his next rival, who may have disconnected and so on, but certainly doing very well. It must make me keep an eye on the lap times that Clues doing.
Yeah. Yeah, overall he's in 20th, but he's 4 laps back, so...
Yeah. Certainly an improvement made, definitely. Well spotted again. Our spotter man, Barry.
Barry's watching it all. Everyone else pretty much spaced out, evenly spaced out, or randomly spaced out. No close racing, but that was a mistake by Lawrence Turner, as we caught just now.
Allowed Matthew to close up. You can see Sterner at a 44 and Boys a 35.
Yeah.
So not a massively quick lap there by Matthew, but they are working their way through traffic, remember. So Dev ZA is saying for sure on the following and hot lapping thing, but following and defending scenarios you can't get from hot lapping, but of course you can from jumping onto multiplayer servers. And Dev does have a point there. So if you're, the ability to follow a car exceptionally close and not make contact, that's, again, to practice that, very difficult. And for sure, that is a definite way that you can almost consequence-free practice it. I mean, a lot of people won't thank me for that because, the typical dive bomb on a random multiplayer server is well known.
Yes.
But at least it's not for a championship.
I must say though, on the ACC side of things, as we've increased our own safety ratings and our ratings on this whole global scale, Um, the, the the open foyers are a little bit dodged still, but the right hand foyers, which kind of match you with people of equal safety rating and equal car what's that other rating that it is, car control and so on. It does help to put you in a server where people are there to actually improve their racing and enjoy the racing, whereas in the open public foyers you still got a couple of kids that just get in there and find huge fun in just destroying other people's races and their safety ratings for fun and giggles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got to be honest. I haven't played around with that. My safety rating's not that great, mainly because I haven't spent any time trying to improve it. I don't know why it's not improved with the SimRace SA races. I'm guessing you got to do lots of races rather than one every couple of weeks or something with SimRace SA. But yeah, that's fantastic to know, Alan, and really appreciate the info on that.
No problem. I mean, look, with Kieran obviously slowly but surely climbing up the ranks now. He has started racing a couple of those races, and while they're not shorter, the open foyers are kind of 20-minute races or 30-minute races. Kieran's been getting involved in like 40 and 1 hour long races.
Oh wow!
And they are, it's close, tight racing. There's no, he's struggled for an hour, and he's driven, say, from 16th to 8th or 7th or 6th, and his ratings and everything has slowly but surely improved. But it's the best place to get the most level kind of experience, because the people that you're racing against in those foyers are, as I say, the way we understand it, at matched safety settings and car control and those kind of things. Trust. There's a whole formula apparently that they use to balance everyone out, and it makes for some very close and exciting racing.
That's amazing. And our leader is now on the final lap. This is the last lap of the race. In fact, 45 minutes have flown by. Jacques Buerter, bit stuttery to start with, but the sec after the pit stops, he's really, I feel, been imperious. It's been a 3.5 second gap for most of that. Ryan has certainly caught him in the last little bit, but wonderful race again by Jacques, deserved winner, I think. Had to come from second place. Ryan took him in qualifying, and I think Ryan must be very proud of this result tonight. Fantastic second place, really pushed Jacques Buerter, particularly in the beginning, and that's really well done. And of course, Marius Skuman, a fairly quiet race for Marius, but I feel like he has come along very well. And coming across the line here for third position.
Yeah, fearless racing. It was fantastic. A great drive, actually. I think it was
a really great drive.
He did well.
Yeah. Of course, profiting a little bit from Jan Spammers.
Yeah.
Unfortunate incident, but Lawrence Stern and Matthew Boy coming across the line 4th and 5th respectively, and Dirkie Swanepoel in 6th. Mike McGear 7th. And I think we're going to have Dirk Brand coming through in 8th place.
Yep.
Solid race for Dirk. And here's this Rob Walker. That's a great result for Rob. 9th position, leading Hannes van Wyk, another BWR racer. They've been all over the place. From sort of first all the way down, as we said, there are about 4 of them.
Yeah.
Ralph Postma, who had that incident to start with the race, not to start with, but about a few laps in. Remember where he hit the barriers,
yes. But
he's come back, done well to finish a solid 11th. I'm sure he'd have liked to recover into the top 10, but can't really complain there, I'd say. We got Craig Hunter in 12th, Ryan Hill in 13th, Marmegi in 14th. Was it Andy
Walbolt
15th. In 15th, Jan Spammer 16th, Antipas in 17th, Breed in 18th, and Clue looks like he's going to end in 20th.
Excellent. Nick, thanks for your time again, my man. It was great having you in the booth, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. The time did fly by there.
It absolutely flew by. It's always an absolute pleasure to commentate with you, Alan, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it, and have a great evening.
Thank you, and to you, man. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Cheers for now.
Bye.